Black men marry white women because of the nature of black women. I know in some of our earlier conversations you mentioned that black women you've met have been uptight. What do you mean by that?
Well, I'll answer the one question, what do I mean by uptight? Going toward a more militant attitude about their own identity. And in many ways are way ahead of the black man, because I don't know why, but in many ways are replacing the black man. There's a whole, there's an almost unfeminine aspect of the black militant woman.
Do you find that some black women you've known, out of your personal experience, blame the black man for what happened to them in slavery even today?
Of course. You know, if the black man, regardless of the causes, failed to protect her, left her in a position where she had to sell herself or bargain with her body and so on. Yes, you know, she had there's a resentment about that, but it's very complex now. You see, I think in another generation you'll get a whole crop uptight about their position in society. There are many, because I'm generalizing now, many are overreacting against Aunt Jemima, the Aunt Jemima image, the submissive Mother Earth type, unselfish, all-giving, especially all-giving to the white man, sexually and in the kitchen and every other way. And she's also overreacting against the problem of having to be the breadwinner, the matriarch of the house. The myth of the black matriarch is really a myth, because it wasn't her choice. Many black women, I'm sure, once they found this job had a certain social and political dignity to it, relished it and wielded the rolling pen, you know, like any minority group mama would do. But no matter how much she might relish it, it wasn't her choice to begin with. She would always have preferred the black male to have run the house, to have saved her from white rapists, white slave owners, you know.
Why did you marry Jim? But first, do you know what Jim means by the uptightness of black women?
Oh, yes.
You've been in the theater.
Well, I've felt it. I've sensed it with almost every black woman that we know, whether they accept me or not. You know, whether there's always a tolerance, but there's always hostility behind it. I can understand it intellectually. Thank God I didn't have to go through the process that made it occur. I happen to think it's a good thing that they're showing hostility. I think it's the only thing they can show at the moment. And I think out of the hostility, I think that's a healthy...
Black man whitening a white woman? She's not one of those ghetto black girls. She's not loud.
So black men would take racial stereotypes and project that onto black women, but simultaneously they'll then speak about how white women are so kind and understanding. And white women have done this really insidious thing where they can take this perceived fragility of whiteness and weaponize it against black men. And black men end up incarcerated or losing their lives as a result. And due to the ongoing struggle with generational trauma and inferiority complex, whiteness being held up as standard means that black men are consistently trying to gain proximity to that whiteness in order to attain some type of social currency, in order to feel that they matter, in order to feel that they're going to be accepted.
There are some black men that when they're dating a white woman, they sort of gas them to think it's okay to disrespect black women. That's when I draw the line, right? That's where I'm like, okay, now you're pushing it. I don't care if you want to date Asian, if you want to date white, if you want to date anybody, any freaking thing in the world. That's your business. But don't let it be to the point of you're allowing your missus to disrespect black women, or you're allowing yourself to disrespect black women to sort of please the white man. We're not in slavery times anymore. Cop on. Like, just fucking be in your relationship and shut up. Go sit down. I don't care about it. So why are you trying to make it a big deal when it's really not? That's my only problem, is the disrespecting of black women.
Let's talk about something that sparks a lot of debate online. Why do some black men who date white women or women outside their race feel the need to downplay or disrespect black women? I said some black men, not every black man. So please don't come for me, because this is a very loud conversation online. And of course, people are asking themselves, but why? What's up, guys? Welcome back to Unfiltered For You Stories. Bernadette as usual. If you enjoy real conversations like this one, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Today we are reacting to viral clips and online discussions where people are calling out this exact issue. So we are going to watch a few clips and I'll catch up with you.
Peace. A quick word for black men who use criticisms of black women to justify exclusively dating other women, particularly white women. Exhibit A, Terrell Owens. You see, I believe Terrell Owens when he says that he was neglected and disrespected by black girls and women as he grew up. But what Terrell failed to mention is black boys were doing it too. And yet you were still able to grow up and have functional, healthy, close relationships with black men. Furthermore, despite having been lavished with praise by white girls, you've also personally had negative experiences with white women. The Karen who tried to get you arrested under false pretenses. And what about that 2-week marriage with the white woman who left accusing you of fraud? You judge those white women individually. Black women, you judge them collectively. And while there may be some black women who are simply against interracial relationships altogether, most of them truly couldn't care less as long as you keep their name out your mouth. Because you see, they don't think you're a sellout because you exclusively date white women. They think you exclusively date white women because you're a sellout. Sometimes it ain't what you do, but how and why you do it. Do better. We out here.
Why do y'all hate black women so much? Because every time I log on this app, it's just a timeline full of men swinging their little emotional clutch purses at black women. Like, damn, y'all clock they lace, they waist, they makeup, they body count, they income. But when was the last time y'all clocked into work? Y'all hate on black women so bad, I swear y'all don't even like women. Whole time my For You page, though, looked like a sausage convention, just a bunch of dick prints and delusion with no substance. And now I finally realized why they started asking, who gonna be the boys? And y'all thought that was a jab at the gays, but no, it was about y'all motherfuckers. They was looking around at y'all like, who gonna be the men? Y'all be on here every day like y'all bleed monthly, especially in my comment section. Talking like bitches, mad like bitches, emotional like bitches, but swear y'all so alpha. Child, the only thing y'all niggas lead is the group chat gossip, okay? Y'all need a group hug and y'all need a therapist. Or better yet, a journal. Cause that energy is screaming, Dear Diary, black women make me insecure. How about y'all be the me and y'all pretend to be online in real life? How about that?
I'm gonna look at the camera when I say this. If you do marry outside your race or you date outside your race, do not ever be disrespectful to the people in your race, because that is a sign of self-hate. If you want to marry Becky with the good hair and that's you, that's who you love, don't ever dare disrespect black women saying that they ain't this, they ain't that because you decided to marry outside your race. That's disrespectful, it's anti-black, and it shows self-hate. So we do not condone that. You do what you want for you, celebrate you, but don't ever disparage people in your race. That's not okay.
And also, to add to that point, don't go outside of your race because you blocked in every group of every woman or every man in your race and just put them all in the same box and said, oh, black women ain't nothing or black men ain't nothing. No, that's your experience with whomever you have decided to surround yourself around. Because I know a lot of white women and Asian women or whatever that have some of the traits that y'all say y'all hate in black women, and it's there too. Yeah. So don't go out there trying to disparage nobody. And because of your experience.
Downgrading black women to elevate another race of women is insane to me, because for me, for example, when I hear guys say stuff like that, I'm black, right? So I love how I look, and I think how I look is beautiful. So the same thing is when I'm looking at a black woman, I'm attracted, I like how I look, so I'm going to like what I am. So I find it, so I find it insane how somebody can say, I just don't like black girls, I don't find them attractive, because then I feel like these similar features, you share these similar features, you got it from your mum, or does your sister share some of these features, like, this is your image, like, do you know what I'm saying? So, it's almost, sometimes I take it deeper, maybe it might be a bit too deep, I say to myself, like, how can you not like or find your own race of women attractive, or even if it's not your preference, how can you go publicly and say like, I don't like this is way better, like my white gal, my Asian gal, my thing is way better than that. Because then I just feel like almost like you got sisters, you got mothers. You know what I mean? Like, don't you see like beauty in that?
Everybody's got a preference.
Yeah.
But much like in my book, I explain there is a difference between a preference and a prejudice. And oftentimes I think we get the lines blurred there. So when we're saying, especially black men, that every single woman I'm with, I want that woman to have straight, long hair. But the hair that you have as a black man and the hair that I have as a black woman is the same. We have the same Afro-textured hair, as does your mum, as does your sister. If you have daughters, so do they, right? So if you're not seeing, I'm not saying that has to be your preference, but if you're not seeing it as beautiful enough to say that my partner can have that hair, there's a problem inside that we need to discuss, because it should be that you find the hair that you have and the hair that your family has as beautiful.
So I do want to address this comment right here. She says, as a white woman who's dated an African-American man, I asked him why he dated white girls, and he said awful things about African-American women. And she says no tolerance here. And I just want to say thank you for being honest. Thank you for being honest. That's really what I want to say. I'm starting to notice quite a few white women come on here and say this exact same thing. So they are literally being honest about it. And I don't know why black men are sitting here acting like they're not doing this. I've literally met so many of these women who have literally said to me, yeah, my ex, he had a problem with black women. Like, I've had many conversations with these type of women saying the same thing that she just said. We know that they're doing this. We know that they're going over to other races of women and doing this. We know that. And that is a big part of the reason why black men's relationships with non-black women are not working out. Because you are so busy doing this instead of loving and appreciating the woman that you're with. You're still talking about African-American women. Like, make it make sense. So I just want to say thank you again for you guys coming on here and being honest. So we can stop pretending that this is not happening when we can clearly see that this is happening. It is a thing. Okay. And so we can have real conversations about this. No, you're not invited to the cookout, but I do appreciate you being authentic and genuine. And I also appreciate you for being smart and not tolerating that, because the same men who talk crap about us to you, they turn right around and treat you the same way they treat us. Okay, but we'll get into that in a different video. Thank you for the comment.
Black men who date white women because they have mommy issues and white women who date black men because they have daddy issues, come to the front. Stop doing that shit, okay? I need to pattern up and go and fix that, heal those traumas. I have no problem with people dating whoever they want to date. I really could have given a damn. Love doesn't discriminate. Fair enough. But if you're doing it from a disingenuous, spiteful place, and the reason I say it feels almost spiteful and trauma-based is because if you were to ask a black man, I'm going to speak more so towards black men because I can't really speak to the white woman experience. I don't know what y'all passing through, but heal it. But if you were to ask a black man, what do you like about white women, or what do you like about this white woman you're dating, they will start listing all the things they hate about black women instead of answering the question, which is, what do you like about white women? For example, if I see you eating ice cream, I'm like, well, what do you like about ice cream? And then you start telling me, well, Doritos is just so orange and triangular and I hate Doritos. It's almost as if you're spiting the Doritos by eating this ice cream and you don't really know if you like this ice cream, because I asked you about what you like about the ice cream. It's sweet, it's flavorful. That's what you should have said instead of telling me all the things you hate about Doritos, because that's weird and it sounds like you're projecting from a trauma-based space. So I think a lot of young black men who are snow bunny chasers and only snow bunny chasers, you know, you have to ask yourself where this hatred and spite is coming from. And then also parallel it to, like, if I was to ask you, what do you think about Latinas? And you say to me, oh, they're so sexy, they're so fiery. But then there's a problem when a black woman does it. There are some traumas that you need to heal there, because it's spicy and sexy when Belinda does it, who's Colombian, but it's not so sexy when Funke does the exact same thing. When Funke does the exact same thing, it's literally the same thing, different font. have to start unpacking some of that internalized self-hatred that you've learned about black women, and maybe those mother wounds and traumas you have that you now project onto every single black woman, because it would be ridiculous to say Michelle Obama is the same as Issa Rae in temperament and personality. If you've even watched the show Girlfriends, for example, right? Lynn, Joan, Tony, and Maya, all black women, but all very different personalities, very different goals, very different temperaments, very different senses of humor. Comparing Michelle Obama to Nicki Minaj or flipping, I don't know, who are some black women off the top of my head. My point is that there's various personalities, from introverted to extroverted to ambiverted to silly to playful to serious to work oriented to lazy. There's so many pick a your litter, black women, white women, Asian women, etc. And you have to start asking yourself, why are you making some of these decisions you're making? So to the white women who are dating black men because of some anger towards your daddy, heal that. Black men dating white women because you have mother issues or because of a woman who did you foul at some point, heal those traumas and date from a genuine space, not out of spite. Please, and thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Link in bio for emotional intelligence leading courses and guides, etc. Love.
I hate when black men try to bully black women on behalf of a white woman, because I was downstairs in the gym in my building and I seen there was only 2 people in there. It was a black guy on the row machine and a white girl. She's running on the treadmill. So I started stretching in the area where the black guy was because I wanted to use the row machine, but he was still on it. So I decided to go all the way to the back of the gym and start stepping on the Stairmaster. So I'm really getting my steps in, but I still keep eyeing the black guy on the row machine. So I keep stepping, but then I see him gearing up and he going and wiping the row machine down. But I still had 10 minutes left on the Stairmaster. So I decided, you know what, let me just finish the 10 minutes out and I'm gonna get on it after. So he exits the gym and the white girl exits the gym and they're talking in front of the freaking water fountain that's in front of the gym. So I finish my 10 minutes, I go get some water, go back in the gym, and I go sit down on the row machine. I have my music blasting, I go and I adjust the weights, and right when I try to pull down the little lat for the row machine, he comes in and he grabs it and he was like he just keeps holding on to it. So I take my earbud out and I was like, yeah. He was like, oh, she was next. I was like, well, I'm going to be really quick. And he was like, yeah, but she was next. I wiped it down specifically for her. So, you know, she was next. You have to get up. So I just stand up and I'm realizing that this man is only 3 inches taller than me and I'm only 4'11". So I'm like, all right, punch up, you got it. So then as I'm getting my stuff together and everything, he says really loudly to her, yeah, she kept staring at me like she was my type. So I'm like, oh, you want to play that game? I don't know what you thought you seen, but I am a white woman. So I go downstairs crying to the security guard. And I was like, this guy was just like super aggressive and he just kicked me out the gym, just crying. Can't even get the words out. Boo-hoo crying to the security guard. So he's like, what? I was like, can you check the cameras? Like, I'm just too scared to like even approach him. I'm scared that he's going to hit me. So I just boo-hoo cried down to the security guard. So he goes, he checks the film in the gym and he sees the whole incident happen. So he was like, oh, what the heck? So he goes upstairs and starts stepping on my behalf. So then the guy in the gym trying to act like it was nothing, but the security guard was like, no, we all live here and that's not the rules of the gym. You don't treat nobody like that. Boom. I finished my workout. I go back upstairs. Why I get a call from the leasing office and they were like, yeah, we're so sorry this happened. We told him he's banned from the gym for a month and we're going to take something off your rent. So we're going to make sure that we get those details from you in the morning. So Kevin Hart, what did you learn? Yeah. What did you learn? Yeah.
This stupid app not being able to use someone's 3-minute sound for a 3-minute video. Tried so many times, but I'm answering Rin Starr's question of why does it end up being that black men who date white women end up being publicly anti-black women in comparison to black women who date white men and them not being as publicly anti-black man. As well as why do these same black men end up being overall embarrassing as a black person? We all saw those engagement photos of that black man with that white woman where he's in chains, and then she put in her caption, he was no longer a slave anymore, he was part of our family. There's numerous other examples of black men doing that kind of stuff, but we're gonna move on. And so black men want to benefit from the patriarchy. They want to be the heads of the household. They want to lead the relationship. And when they're with a black woman, they don't feel like they can do that. Because a black woman will call a black man out on his BS. She will call out his characteristics that need to improve. And she'll make clear her standards. Very straightforward and blunt. And so many black men, they will label a black woman doing that as that she's challenging his authority and that she's bringing too much masculine energy and not enough feminine energy. She needs to submit. So they end up dating a white woman. And the way I see it, I've experienced it, and the way I explain it is that white women have been raised and have learned throughout the centuries knowing how to survive the wrath of a man, in comparison to a black woman who has had to raise herself in this sexist, anti-black world. And so a white woman knows how to maneuver and manipulate a man and getting him to do what she wants him to do without making him realize or feel like she's challenging his authority. So then he ends up wanting to do things for her, while the whole time she's actually the one that's driving and controlling the relationship. And so when it comes to these black men, they are trying to rationalize and convince themselves. That's why they end up projecting why they're so anti-black, and they'll step on black women, spit on black women, throw them under the bus, is that they're trying to convince themselves because they really do want to be with a black woman, but they can't handle it. And so what they end up doing is doing a cop-out, and they'll rationalize and make fun of black women, trying to get past how what they're dealing with in their interracial relationship, all the bias, all the racism, all the microaggressions they're dealing with. When I was dating white women and I talked to a black man who was also dating a white woman, all walls would drop once I started mentioning what all the microaggressions, and they would say, oh yeah, she does this to me and this and that. And so why did they stay? Well, why did I stay? Again, it was like, okay, I'm with one, it felt like, oh, I'm revolutionary, I'm with a white woman. And then also that was like, as well as feeling like you're distancing yourself from racism.
I know this is going to go over a lot of y'all heads, but black women dating outside of their race has never been about being anti-black men. But black men dating outside their race has always been about being anti-black women. I just want y'all to sit and think about that. Like, let it marinate, let it soak in, like, really understand. Black men date outside of their race because in spite, or is that the term? In spite of black women. Does that make sense? But the center of a black woman's mind when she dates outside of her race is not a black man. Like, do y'all get it? Like, do y'all get it? Like, let me know if you get it.
So sometimes we see this on social media, like TikTok, when a black man is asked why he loves or why he is attracted to a white woman or a non-black woman. Some of them get so defensive, they start criticizing black women instead of saying that maybe I'm attracted to a white woman because of this and this and this. But they just begin criticizing black women like they are so loud, they wear fake hair, a lot of makeup, big eyelashes, I don't know what. They are always giving those reasons as if they are the ones that made them to go for a particular white woman. Those are just some lame excuses to date someone. Yeah, so you always see even comments like black women are like this. They put them in the comment sections in some of those videos when you go there. They are always talking bad things about black women. And the question is, why would you feel the need to tear down a whole group of black women just to uplift another group? Because realistically, you can date whoever you want to date without disrespecting anyone else. Maybe some of these black men have internalized stereotypes because for years, society and media pushed negative narratives about black women, labeling them as aggressive, difficult, or less desirable. So maybe these black men grew up constantly listening to that and seeing that and never questioning it. Then they can also begin believing it. You see even men on podcasts talking about how black women are the least desirable, how black women are, I don't know, no one wants to love them, no one can date them. So when these men date outside their race, they may repeat these same stereotypes as if those are the facts. You just hear something and believe it and also push it, talking so bad about black women, and you laugh about it, and then you bring it to social media, you spread it, and then, yeah, just too bad. So all these are just learned biases and not facts. So when you find a black man who doesn't want to do their research, who doesn't want to ask themselves, but why? Who doesn't want to look at their own, maybe family, and generalize? Who doesn't want to look out for a few people maybe who do this and generalize the whole group, of course they will also carry on that and it will just keep on being like that. Then maybe some of them also are just seeking validation and maybe thinking that this will change their status, because honestly, society has always placed whiteness on a pedestal, and for some men, dating a white woman can feel like a form of social upgrade or an achievement. And to reinforce that feeling, they might downplay black women as a way of saying, see, I made the better choice, while forgetting that that mindset usually comes from insecurity and not confidence. And then, like I said at the beginning, some of them use it as a justification for their preference for a white woman or a white girl. Yeah, so instead of simply saying that this is whom I'm attracted to, some of them feel the need to explain why, and they do that by criticizing a whole group of black women that they are not choosing to date. It's like their preference needs to be defensive when in reality it doesn't need to. And then of course we can say that personal experiences also can lead to this. If someone had negative experiences in past relationships, they might generalize that to an entire group. But there is a problem with that, because a few bad experiences cannot define millions of people. So that's where things go from personal preference to unfair generalization. Maybe some of them have identity and self-image crisis. Yeah, because sometimes putting down black women is actually a reflection of how someone feels about themselves or their own background. It can be a way of distancing themselves from their own identity just to fit into the space. However, that is a much bigger issue than just dating. When you look at this whole thing, those are some of the reasons that may make some of these black men to behave like that, to downplay black women and to disrespect black women. So if you're a black man out there and doing this or behaving like this, that is not a good thing. Instead, you are creating a bad image for yourself, because no woman will want a man who talks so bad about another woman, much as you are trying to create a bad image for these black women. And with that, I'll end this video here. Share your thoughts down in the comments. Thank you so much for staying with me, and if you found this video interesting, please give it a like, subscribe, and let's catch up in the next one.